proof number 7 on why the Igbos in southeastern Nigeria are really the Hebrews of the Bible. And earlier we mentioned that the Igbos worship one God, and I proved that by giving the name of that God. We related that name to mean the God of Abraham in ancient Igbo language, and then we proved that that Igbos worship one God by showing you from biblical quotations why the Igbos excommunicate their members who actually go to worship other gods. Now, that brings us to proof number 7, and that proof number 7 is actually what the Igbos call idols. What the Igbos call idols. And that's our proof number 7, and it's related to the previous one we've been discussing. You see, in Igbo land, the Igbo word for idols is alosi. That's what we call idols. And when I say idol, I don't mean American Idol, although they are basically the same thing. But I'm talking about oracles, deities, all those small letter G gods. The Igbo word for them is alosi. What does alosi mean? Alosi translates literally to abomination speaks. In fact, the root of the word alosi is alo, which means abomination. Now, please pay attention here. The Igbo people call other idols or other gods, we call them abomination. Now, if you go to the Bible, oh my God, there's so many Bible verses. This is exactly what the ancient Hebrews call other gods. They don't call them powers or gods or something. These are just translations from the Bible. We call them abomination. That's what the ancient Hebrews call them. And I've got a plethora of Bible quotations here for you. If you look at Jeremiah chapter 32 from verse 32 to 35, if you look at Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 25 to 26, Deuteronomy chapter 21 verse 31, 2 Kings chapter 23 verse 13, Deuteronomy chapter 18 verse 9, Deuteronomy chapter 27 verse 15, Deuteronomy chapter 29 verse 17, and Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 15, 1 Kings chapter 11 verse 4, Isaiah chapter 44 verse 19, Jeremiah chapter 4 verse 1, and Ezekiel chapter 11 verse 17 to 21. You will see that ancient Hebrews call other gods abomination. That's the exact word that the ancient Hebrews call other gods. In fact, let's read it from the Bible. Let me pick one of the... Okay, let's look at 2 Kings chapter 23 from verse 13. It said, "And the high places that were before Jerusalem, which were on the right hand of the mount of corruption, which Solomon the king had built for Ashtaroth, the abomination of the Zidonians, and for Chemosh, the abomination of the Moabites, and for Milcom, the abomination of the children of Ammon, did the king defile." End of quote. You see, right there, the Hebrews in the Bible call these idols, these other gods, we call them abomination. Now, do you see why in Igbo land, if you go and dedicate yourself to any of these gods, you are ostracized? Your people, even if you're the king of a village, no matter who you are. So there are people in Igbo land who are Osu, but their brothers, people from their clan, people that share the same ancestors with them are not. So I feel disgusted with early Igbo writers that say that this Osu system is actually a caste system. No. Me and my brother can be living together today and we are free, and tomorrow I go and worship other God. I become an Osu. My brother does not. How is that a caste system? It's a consequence of your action. That is because these idols are abomination unto us as commanded by the Most High. That is why we ostracize those who worship these idols. I have given a solution to this. Simply go and ask the Most High for forgiveness and come back to the worship of the Most High. Even if you're a Christian or whatever you are, you're worshiping the Babylonian God. You're worshiping the wrong God. It's an abomination. You're probably worshiping, I don't know what the Ashtaroth, or which is the god of Easter, is the goddess of Easter. That's Ashtaroth. So if you're celebrating Easter, you're worshiping that God. You're probably worshiping Chemosh. Who knows who that is? But these are idols. These are abominations that have been repackaged by the Romans and presented to us as Christianity. Unfortunately for us now, these idols are all over our communities. We have, not only are the Christians almost everywhere, almost every of our every Igbo person out there is a Christian. We have this traditionalists, these idols in Gene, Ofufe, Amadioha, everywhere. We have all those things everywhere in our communities, and these idols are being used to oppress and to intimidate our people, and they are feeding off of the ignorance of our people, not knowing who we really are, not knowing that our God, the God of Abraham, has called us, and in his wisdom he has chosen us. And these idols are being used to oppress our people. And that's why our message is a message of freedom to our people, and not just our people, the Igbo people in Nigeria, but the people that have been sold to slavery, the people who are interested in worshiping the God of the Hebrews. If you understand that this God of the Hebrews, this is how he should be worshipped, he has given us statutes, laws, feasts, and Sabbaths to obey, and you understand how you should be worshipped and you follow it, you are internally free. None of these things, none of these idols can, nothing, no weapon fashioned against you will prosper. So it's our message here to our people. The Igbos, we call these things abomination. Alosi. Abomination speaks. And if you read the book of Joshua, you understand that they do speak. They do speak to people who worship them. So we call them abomination. That's what we call them in Igbo land. This is in our language. We didn't see the Bible before we went and changed our language. We have had this language for generations before the Bible came. So all it takes for you to look at the Bible and read it, and you understand that we are the real people of the Bible. It's not the Jewish people that have been claimed. Do you know that the Jewish people worship a plethora of gods? The Jewish people don't even practice monotheism. They worship a myriad of gods. So you need to understand that. If you don't understand that, you're not going to move forward. You're not going to really worship God in spirit and in truth, as the Bible tells us in John chapter 24. So yes, that's our proof, and that was number 7. The word we call idols is abomination, and I've shown you through these Bible verses that that's the exact word that the Hebrews of the Bible call all these idols, and that is why we segregate against and we excommunicate and even kill those our members who actually go to worship these other gods.